Minal, you are on mute currently. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, apologies. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you to the regional semi-finale of the Ultimate Pitch Season 9. I'm Meenal Singh Chandel, and I'll be your host for today. It has been more than a month since we launched TUP 9.0 Be the Now across the country. It was a call out to the young minds to channel their entrepreneurial zeal and spirit of innovation. From starting with an idea, giving it form and shape, doing the cost benefit analysis, and finally bringing it to a stage where it's ready for go to market. You did it all. Now, with absolute delight, I want to give you all a sneak peek into TUP 9.0's incredible journey so far with this video. We received an overwhelming response with over 19,000 registrations and more than 1,500 idea submissions from campuses across the country. With this, I would now like to show you the top 26 teams who made it to the regional semi finale. Can we have the video, please? Congratulations, teams. It's been a tough journey, and you definitely have proven your mettle. Determination, grit, and an unwavering faith in your ideas has brought you to this stage of this tremendous journey. Kudos to all of you. We eagerly await to see your ideas unfold and soar to unprecedented heights. Now, before we begin, here's a quick rundown of how the regional semi finale will progress. The teams will have 3 minutes to pitch their idea in the form of a pitch video, post which the teams will make a 3 minute presentation to the jury and an additional 1 minute to showcase a prototype of their ideas. Also, this year, we have a special feature called the Idea Face Off. Don't worry, we'll tell you more about it in the coming slides. This will then be followed by a 4 minute Q&A by the jury. We're excited to see how you will fare in this new format. But please keep an eye on the time. We will be giving you nudges before the timer runs out. But wait, how do the teams impress the jury? The answer has always been really straightforward. Your idea must be futuristic, should solve a real world problem, challenge conventional wisdom, be practical and scalable, and have a strong business case. We sincerely hope our idea workshop powered by GeoGenNext help the teams here take their ideas to the next stage. Coming back to the idea face off. In order to add a little twist to the competition, we have added a new feature this year called the idea face off. Here, each of the teams gets an opportunity to question their respective opposition team. For this, you will be given an additional 1 minute after the opposition team's presentation. Keep in mind that our gurus here will award you bonus points on not just how you're answering those questions, but also on how you're asking the right questions. Now, it's time to tell you about the exciting rewards for regional semi finale winners. Firstly, the winners of today will advance to the grand finale of the ultimate pitch that is to be held at the Reliance Corporate Park in Navi Mumbai. The national finalists will get an opportunity to be mentored by the CEOs, CXOs at Reliance. They'll also get a pre placement interview opportunity with Reliance. Further, for the grand finale, the ultimate winner of the grand finale will walk away with an astonishing cash prize of 6 lakh rupees. The ultimate runners up will be awarded a cash prize of 3 lakh rupees, and the Popular Choice Award will be awarded a cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. Now, with all set in place, let's begin the regional semi finale by introducing the jury for today. We have some eminent gurus with us who are the pioneers in the areas of finance, marketing, and operations. They will be assessing your ideas in this round, and I'm glad to introduce Mr. Shantanu Mukherjee, Head Growth Segments at Reliance Jio, Mr. Sridhar Kothandaram, Company Secretary, Reliance Retail Ventures Limited, and Mr. Tarun Karoria, Assistant Vice President at Reliance Retail. Now, we have a question for the jury. What is that one thing, sir, that you're looking forward to the regional semi-finale today?
I'll go first. What I would be looking at is essentially, I'm really excited, to be honest, to be part of this. And very, very quickly, innovation, differentiation. What is the impact that is there on the target group that the product is looking at? What is the potential for growth and scalability? Very clearly, what is the implementation and execution plan? Because ideas are just as good as the implementation. And finally, the team fitment for what they're proposing, right? So those are some of the things that I would be looking at. Thanks.
Okay. I'm looking for something simple, but at the same time mind-blowing. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Just adding on to Sridhar sir and Shantanu sir, I think the ideas have got the teams to this regional round. We have introduced prototype. That is something which I would look forward to. And how that prototype would translate into execution. What is the team thinking about that? So along with whatever Shantanu sir and Sridhar sir mentioned, these are the two areas which I will be looking to go deep into.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, jury members. I hope the teams took note of the hack you have just shared and make the best use of this opportunity. It's time to let the games begin. With this, I would now like to call upon the teams Agile Alchemist versus Bizarre Bazaar. Can we have the team Agile Alchemist video on the screen, please?
Are you aware that a staggering 20% of men grapple with fertility-related issues? This challenge, often shrouded in humour and slangs like imperfect men or Nirash Purush, carries a weighty mental toll. The burden intensifies with the shift in lifestyles. mounting stress levels, dwindling physical activity, and escalating screen time. Our recent survey, reaching across 14 states and union territories and engaging with 312 individuals, has exposed a grim reality. Dietary habits are spiraling downwards, and lifestyles are increasingly sedentary, especially in Asian countries. By extrapolating European data from the BBC to the Indian context, we discern an annual dip in fertility at 1%. Our research has uncovered a keen interest among men to understand their health better, a blend of fascination, curiosity, anxiety, and the desire to explore personal health from the privacy and control of one's home was evident. Nearly 26% of men admitted to masturbating 1 to 2 times daily, oblivious to potential health impacts. Unfortunately, fertility issues are often unfairly and inaccurately attributed solely to women, leading to horrific superstitious and unscientific practices. Our product, Alpha Sure, is primed to address this issue and bridge the information gap. It's a user-friendly, home-based, AI-powered semen analysis kit that guarantees privacy. Coupled with our mobile application platform, it utilizes semiotics and analytics to deliver the insights users seek. The platform can also generate educational content, collaborate with influencers, sync with wearables, partner with sexual wellness firms, IVF centers, and more, building a broader sexual wellness ecosystem. Alpha Sure empowers men, challenging societal norms and promoting the perception of fertility as a shared responsibility. We extend an invitation to you all to join us on this transformative journey of assuring health, securing smiles.
Good morning, everyone. To solve this pressing issue, we present Elfishore. It is a home-based semen analysis kit that allows the customer to know about their health in fairly simple steps. It generates a comprehensive report for the user in the mobile application. Now, next question that comes to our mind is for a test that will be done annually once or twice. So, how is the app relevant? It maintains its relevancy by allowing users to integrate the lifestyle data and predict possible impact on their health. Also, it enables users to consult doctors if needed. We also aim to provide educational and wellness content like articles, podcasts, etc. for premium users, which is based on traditional scriptures like Taoism and other best practices.
Building on, we aim to create an ecosystem of sexual wellness through our platform. As our lifestyle impacts our sexual health, so there exist synergies with wearables, which is growing at 53% annually, lifestyle products, and even sexual wellness products, which are growing at 24% annually. We can integrate them to build a specialized platform based business model. For this, we can charge according to the pay per click model for the ad revenue and also charge commission for the platform based sales and also the membership fees as discussed. As for our market entry plan, we'll be first focusing on the early adopters who are tech friendly, educated, health conscious individuals. Gradually, we'll aim to other possible target segments. During the funneling process, we aim to leverage doctors, medical practitioners, and social media influencers in the urban areas. In the rural areas, particularly, we will aim to target the ASHA workers who yield considerable influence. And as far as the B2B sales is concerned, we'll be focusing on our kit and software that integrates the test results to develop holistic insights for the firms that we provide them. Moving over to financials.
Coming to the financials, we are operating in a TAM of approximately 21,000 crores. Here is a small illustration of unit economics. For now, we have excluded labor and other overhead expenses. Based on industry averages, we have calculated a split of projected revenue from multiple streams. In 4 phases spread across 4 years, we expect a break-even point of approximately 92 lakh units. The overall projected PAT is around 1,000 crores across 4 years. So, dear jury, our business proposal aims to solve real-world customer needs, challenge social orthodoxy, and create awareness. To do so, we leverage technology to generate relevant insights, create an ecosystem of sexual wellness that benefits all stakeholders, and generate sustainable revenue from multiple streams. And at this juncture, we invite you to be a part of our journey of assuring health and securing smiles. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Now, for the idea face off round, let's have the team Bizarre Bizarre for their questions.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, was.
Um, Thank you for the presentation. It was a great presentation. So, my question is, so the question of fertility test arises only when a couple faces issues while conceiving. Considering this, why would a person invest 1800 to endorse what he already knows, especially when a comprehensive semen analysis at a doctor's office is more conclusive and cost effective, typically costing around 500 to 800 rupees. Additionally, are the technology used in a product patented? If yes, how has the claimed product superiority been tested?
Thank you so much for the question. First of all, the tests that you are talking about in the range of 500 to 800 are not as comprehensive that we are trying to leverage with, let's say, your lifestyle data, let's say your daily activities and the food intake. So I would say the comprehensiveness is more with us. Second, obviously, as you mentioned, that people only go to doctors when they are facing issues, but that is one part. There is, I would say, there is a definite anxiety as per our surveys, at say spanning across 13 states and 312 respondents, that they want to know more. Whereas, let's say for female health, there are more products available, but for male health, there is not much awareness that is there. So with our platform, see, there's going to be that curiosity that we are going to meet through this. Also, as you mentioned about the patented technology, no, we are working on the algorithm for now that we are trying to apply for patent. But as of now, the technology overall is not patented. But the video algorithm that we are developing will be going for that patent soon. I mean, not soon, I mean, in a while. I hope that answers.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Okay, I'll go in first. First of all, guys, great presentation. Very impressed that you guys are thinking in a very different dimension, a very different problem statement. Couple of questions. First, I was not clear if we are talking about an existing technology, or are we talking about a new technology that you guys are creating? That is number one. Number two, I know that similar products, testing kits are available in the market, but they are analog in nature. You guys are doing something digital. I just want to understand uh, whether it's the same enhancement of the analog kit, or is it a new technology you were mentioning about video, etc. You also mentioned about using algorithm. Now, from what I understand, in such cases, is that it's a very medical thing where data as such is not what is used for deduction. It is mainly positive, negative signals based on the molecular analysis. Right. So I want to understand what is the algorithm that you're talking about. So these are three questions. If you can quickly answer before other jury members also get in.
So, sure, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, as far as the technology is concerned, as you rightly pointed out, there exist analog products for it, but they do not reflect how, let's say, they usually test semen concentration, but they usually don't mention how much above that certain level or below that WHO standard, that is around 10 to 15 ml, sorry, per this thing, that is the bar, but they do not specifically mention or indicate where they are. Whereas this data is particularly crucial when people are going for let's say for different hair, I mean, let's say for the fertility related steps like IVF and other things. And also this is a quite a good indicator for prostate cancers, with the study for which are still on. That is why we have not specifically mentioned it over here. So as far as technology is concerned, you are absolutely right. It is going to be a more enhanced and more insightful version based on over the analog product. So as of technology, probably it's not new. It is just being digitized and generating more and precise insights, which can be clearer to user.
Okay.
Uh, and as for the second part, I think, sir, as far as the video algorithm is concerned, uh, uh, the way we are going to process the I mean, let's say the semen, and how are we going to read the morphology and motility, that is going to be the key challenge. As of now, yes, only for the video analysis part we are working, which probably we may apply for the patent. But as of now, the technology overall is not new. Only the novel part is going to be the AI-based video algorithm. The third part that you mentioned about the data collection, this is absolutely a challenge. And that is why in our key partners, we have mentioned IVF clinics, because it is going to be a win-win deal for them and us as well. Because data in this case is going to be very critical to train our models. And it is scarce because it's a private data. So I hope this answers the three part.
Yeah,
This
we are
obviously.
running out of time. I have a few more questions, but I'll let Shantanu sir and Sridhar sir also ask the questions.
I have only two questions,
Sure.
fairly simple. One is the accuracy of the data of the result that you are proposing, how accurate it is, whether it will be right accepted by doctors or technicians or experts in the field. Second relates to the privacy of the data that you collect. What is the system in place to keep it private?
So as far as the data privacy is concerned, it will be on the local storage of the on the mobile app of the user, or wherever the local storage that they want to access. We'll be accessing every time we are going to do that. So we'll be leveraging from their own location. So that privacy and control will always be there. Also, as to whom with whom they share, will the controls will be there on the app with the users. As far as the accuracy is concerned, sir, standard tests that are, as Tarun sir had mentioned about the other products, standard accuracy is around 97% or more than that.
Okay.
Very quickly, time is almost up. Very quickly, how do we know it works? I mean, what is the expert input into this, so to speak, right? And I mean, you've of course you're speaking about your algorithm, and that's the key differentiator. So how do we know it actually works?
Sir, as far as
Because
the
the prototype that you also showcased, in a manner of speaking, is also just a video, right? So I'm just saying that, how does it work? The other very quick point is that you've mentioned the steps, right, in terms of how it will, how what the user needs to do to sort of go through the process in terms of getting a result, right? And how will you account for whether the user is doing it properly or not? Because I'm assuming the result will also be the outcome will also be dependent upon whether the steps are followed accurately. So two questions. Yeah, thanks.
So thank you, sir. So for I'll take the latter one first. That is with respect to some, let's say, how the user is going to process the test. One is, let's say the steps are fairly simple. There's going to be, but even let's say if a user does not, I mean, let's say there are some faulty cases, and if there's some false result that is flagged, there are going to be checks. Let's say if there's a false negative, so the user can always reach out and take an opinion, which we can always provide it at, let's say, first opinion with first test or something like that. So that is one thing for the false negatives. However, the steps and the product that is going designed, the product design that we are working on is going to be fairly simple, that even if there's going to be some errors, let's say in placement of slides or anything, it will be accounted. The challenge that we are facing as of now is data training, and Astha and our team is ex-IBMer, and she's absolutely working on it uh,
Adding on to this,
make that.
the way you ask how this is going to work, so the data which will be collected will then be cleansed, and there are different semen categories, like the male is not having semen, the male is having some less semen, like they are named biologically as oligospermia. Zoospermia is the case of having very high semen, which is also not good. So based on this category, the analog system just shows that whether a male is having the semen above the range of 50 milliliter, but here we are classifying the entire range, and then based on the lifestyle, how that can be further improved, that is there. So overall it will give, not just give the result which is there and generate the report, it will also do by which measures you can ultimately improve your semen count and move towards the path of pregnancy.
Okay,
I'll
thanks.
just take a second, guys. This is a very subject matter expert product. Like, how are you bringing that to the table? Is one of you a subject matter expert in this domain, or do you have a consultant who is overseeing? So I just want to understand that before you conclude.
Sir, we
Yeah, sorry. I'll just take that. Sir, yes, I'm sorry. I think I missed up addressing this part. Yes, sir. My family members, I think, both, I mean, one of them is doctor, and one of them are specializing into drug manufacturing. So there are two people who are guiding us into this with respect to the relevant sources and the right people that we need to connect.
Okay,
Even
suppose we
on our,
start today. What is the go-to-market timeline, including clinical
sir,
trials and necessary approvals, etc.?
Sir, I think data, let's say if everything with respect to data training is achieved, I would say anything between 1 year should be a very good deal. But data training is something that we
Including
are,
clinical trials?
I mean, no, with respect to the product, with, let's say, clinical trials, I think it will depend on the processes, but I think 2 years should be a good deal, sir. Because there's no drug involved as such, it's only the medical devices that we are talking about.
Thank
And
you.
probably more of it I can work
You
on
are
it.
are
Thank you
you
so much, sir.
going to certify this or position this as a diagnostic kit or what?
So mostly yes, diagnostic piece.
You are. Okay.
So
Okay,
mostly because
thanks.
I've very honestly we are at this point in time focus more on our product, and probably the other nuances of, let's say, the certifications and all is something that comes in when we have a handy MVP with us. So we are more focused on that. If at all, let's say there are some glitches if in terms of certification or the timeline, I beg your pardon for that, sir.
No problem. Okay, thanks, Tan.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Agile Alchemist. That was an extremely insightful presentation. I would now like to call our next team, Bazaar Bazaar. Can we have their pitch video, please?
Hi, what are you sipping on?
The new Campa Cola.
Campa Cola. It used to be my favorite drink growing up. Is it back? I did not recognize it at all with the green bottle cap.
Oh yes, it is green because of the seeds that it contains. Take it home, sow it, and watch your plant grow.
I'm confused. How can a plant grow out of a bottle cap? And what about the bottle?
Here, grab a Campa Cola, sit back and relax while Team Bazaar explains it all to you. Reliance Group has recently acquired Campa Cola, a brand that triggers nostalgia. But is nostalgia enough to sustain their business against their bigger counterparts Pepsi and Coke? Differentiation is the need of the hour. We came up with a differentiating solution that will not only catch the customer's eye, but will also be a step towards a sustainable future. The Green Cap initiative aims to raise awareness and excitement without changing the consumer experience at all. The initiative aims to use PHA, a highly biodegradable material, in the manufacturing of Campa Cola bottle caps. The choice of material has been made after a meticulous study of alternative materials. PHA can be composted at the domestic as well as the industrial level. But the twist to these green caps is that they are embedded with seeds which, when planted, will germinate towards a greener tomorrow. The marketing campaign will be called Plant a Campa Cola. The campaign will encourage social media users to share their photographs and stories using #Campa4Nature. The motto for the campaign is Drink, Recycle, Plant and Repeat. But that's just the tip of the bottle. What about the bottles? Enter Campa Bins, a refrigerator-sized storage solution for the bottles. Campa bins are not your ordinary waste bins. They are installed with shredders to allow for a greater storage capacity. These bins will be placed at strategic locations in 4 test markets in close proximity to the point of sale of Campa Cola. On the marketing front, these Campa bins will act as out-of-home advertisements and create awareness that Campa is differentiating through sustainability. On the business front, we aim to create a circular economy value chain. The Campa bins will shred the bottles and keep them ready for the PET recycler to take away for free. The recycled material will then be converted to recycled pellets, which the bottle manufacturers use as raw material for making bottles. Campa Cola will then be bottled in these bottles, ready to grow more plants and leap towards Reliance Group's 2035 sustainability goal. With the suggested solutions, we would love to join hands with Reliance Group towards making the world a better place to live in, one sip at a time.
Good morning, everyone. So 90%, that sounds like a good number, doesn't it? But it depends on the context. 90% PET bottles are recycled in India. Now that's an example of a good number. 90% of these bottle caps, they are leaked in the environment as micropollutants. That's an unappealing number. We bring to you a solution for these 90% bottle caps. Reliance's acquisition of Campa Cola provides us with a perfect opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Our idea presents a chance to Reliance to make Campa Cola a brand synonymous with sustainability. This starts with our Green Cap initiative, where we propose that the bottle caps of Campa Cola be made with polyhydroxyalkanoate, better known as PHA. It is a highly biodegradable material that decomposes easily in the industrial as well as the domestic setting. Industrial degradation takes about 20 to 45 days, whereas degrading at the domestic level, it takes about 90 to 100 days. But how will this capture the customer's attention? Firstly, all the caps will be colored green, which will attract the customer's eyes. Further, these green caps are to be embedded with seeds, which when sown, the PHA will degrade and the seeds will sprout into a small plant.
Our idea is not only limited to the bottle caps. For the PET bottles, we propose a circular economy value chain, introducing Campa bins, which are not only ordinary waste bins, they are fitted with shredders to optimize storage. On the marketing front, these Campa bins will act as an outdoor advertisement, and on the business front, PET bottle collectors will take it away for free and can use the shredded material further. The material will be converted into pellets, which in turn will be given to bottle manufacturers. The recycled PET bottles will be filled once more with Campa Cola drinks and reintroduced in the consumer market. These bins will be placed in 4 test markets, as you can see in the figure, and based on high consumption of bottled beverages, easy retrieval of waste, and these places should be under public surveillance. The places could be malls, shopping complexes, educational institutes, and with Campa becoming the sponsor of Indian cricket team now, we can also take cricket stadium as a viable option.
Okay, so in the long run, we propose to take this idea to market in 4 phases. So in initial phase, we'll introduce the Green Cap initiative and Campa bins to carefully selected test markets. These innovations are designed to kickstart journey towards a more sustainable future. Moving to the second phase, our vision is to extend beyond boundaries. So we plan to expand initiative to tier 2 and tier 3 cities and reaching the broader audience, making more significant impact. And in the third phase, we will use this pH material for not only caps but the whole beverage bottles. So with Reliance brands already housing popular beverages like Yeah, Bubble, and Campa already, so our goal is to incorporate PHA across all these products. So this ambitious plan set to unfold over next 2 to 3 years. And in the final phase, we aim to implement this biodegradable concept not in beverages product but all other package items under the Reliance brand umbrella. So our commitment to sustainability goes beyond beverages, making lasting impact on environment.
And for the prototype, these are the plans. I know there is some problem with the presentation because the images are appearing to be smaller. But in the first image at the top left, you can see the plan of the Campa bin. That is, the body volume is given in the right table, which comes out at about 1100 liters, of which the collector volume is 442 liters, in which we can store about 800 and about 379 kgs of waste material or the scraps, uh, and the number of bottles which come out to be is 9490. But in actual calculation that we did, it came out to be 100 kgs in terms of weight, and in number of bottles it is 3000. And this camper bin is equipped with a zero point 0.5 horsepower motor, which is low in power but high in torque. Because individually the bottles are going to be scrapped, it is going to be a touch and feel experience for the consumer with shredding the bottles. And the dual shaft shredder is the standard operating procedure when it comes to shredding. And we have some safety mechanisms in place for the user safety as well.
Thank you, team. For the idea face of round, we would now want to request Team Agile Alchemist for their questions.
Congratulations for the pitch. I'm sure you're aware that PHA is a great carbon sink with a carbon intensity of 1.26 gram per centimeter cube. When that is decomposed, as per the IIT Guwahati study of 2022, it alters local geography by negatively affecting soil structure and seed germination abilities due to soil acidification at double the rate of conventional plastics. So, how is the idea eco friendly? Moreover, this may shift consumer behavior to throw bottles and caps anywhere they desire, reversing the gains made through Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So, how do we plan to tackle these issues?
Okay, I'll take this question. Okay, so you pointed out the IIT Guwahati study, and we also looked at the study when we were making the presentation pitch, or even before that when we were devising the idea. But we got a lot of other studies from the international organizations, several science journals, which actually represented the other way around. So they had done the study in different contexts. One was in sea, one was in lakes, one was in ponds, one was in soil, one was in local compostable areas where you can throw in your home compost. So in all of these settings, the impact on the soil, as you mentioned, was greatly different. So there were a lot of studies which supported PHA, and there were only a couple which denied it. So we went on with the bigger journals and took their advice.
Also, adding to that, companies like Bacardi and Nestle and PepsiCo are also working on the same material PHA for their packaging. So it's not something that has been, if it has been impacting the soil in a negative way, then these companies might not be working on this material for this their sustainable goals. So I think.
Okay.
Thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Sorry, I'll just quickly go first. How do you propose to? I mean, you've put together the solution, you've put together a year-wise in terms of how you're moving ahead, and we'll take your word in terms of the references that you've given from a scientific study perspective. This asks for a significant change in consumer behavior, correct? If that doesn't happen, then it'll pretty much continue to happen the way it is happening today, right? So how do you propose to change consumer behavior in India?
I'll take this up. So this is the fundamental thing which we started with. You cannot change a bottle and change the touch and feel of the product and expect the consumer to still consume. So something has to remain intact. For which we have started with the idea that the bottles are uh, going to be PET, and the bottle caps are going to be PHA, because majority of the bottle caps don't end up in the recycling chain. This is going to be the initial part. Later on, the bottles are also going to be PHA made. So initially, the entire idea germination, or the start of the idea, is going to be focused entirely upon the marketing and the consumer's understanding of the impact that this bottle is creating. The Green Cap initiative, we have named it so it kind of emphasizes the green nature of the cap as well, that it disintegrates into the soil. And slowly we are going to focus it in the metro cities, where there are more number of people concerned about the environment, or at least on the face value they are concerned about the environment. And later on we'll introduce into the tier 1 and the tier 2 cities. So it is going to be gradual change from the touch and feel of the product. Initially it is going to be exactly the same, and PHA in terms of material is very very similar to PET in nature, in terms of the looks of it. So it is not going to be a drastic change from day zero.
I'll go in next. Guys, thank you for this. I think your thinking is in the right direction in terms of sustainability. Now, 2 points. First, plastic bottle recycling is not new. In fact, just this week, we, in partnership with Coke, we launched a few PET recycling stations in our smart bazaars. I think in Mumbai, Santa Cruz. So it's not new. So are you doing something different? That is point number one. Point number two, PHA versus PET, right? So if you're saying that PHA is equally good both on physical properties, technical specs, as well as commercials in comparison to PET, then what, according to you, is preventing uh, brands like Pepsi, Coke, or any other company from adopting it, right? Because from whatever you've said till now, it seems like a no-brainer, right? So if you can quickly address these 2 points.
Sir, coming to the second part of this question, the thing is that PHA compared to PET, it's not in the terms of chemical processing and all these things, it's very different, because it's made of it's made of bacterizing this some plant soils such as canola and soil. So it's a biodegradable plastic, so it might not have that much of quality and all these things. So companies like Denmark Scientifics and other companies are trying to build a perfectly PHA material which is as good as the PET material, but that need a lots of R&D investment and that thing. So for that, company like a small company cannot start their PET material which is similar to PHA. So because of that thing, PHA, but in the general, in long run, PHA has similarities in the whatever the qualities that PET material has. So for that reason, PHA in future can be a good resemble of that PET bottle.
As we are talking about as of today, right? We are listening to your pitch with the understanding that PHA is ready for commercialization as a cap on all these bottles, right? So if you are saying that this material is not yet ready for commercialization, then it leads to a very different discussion.
Um,
I
I
hope
think
everybody
we
got
got
my point.
lost in some communication there. So actually, the point that Zeel wanted to make here was the production capacity. As you can see in the table, the PHA production capacity is not up to the mark as of now. But we are going to start with the bottle caps, not with the entire bottles, which is going to be low in volume, which is going to give us
Mhm.
the benefit of first moving first in the market. So we are going to have better contacts with the PHA material manufacturers within India and outside of India. Within India, we have researched, and the number of manufacturers are low. Outside of India, there are quite a substantial number of manufacturers. So it is going to be an economy of scale. Initially, only the caps are going to be low in volume, which is going to be sustainable with the current production levels that we have. And then moving on to the entire bottle, and then again into the entire packaging of the materials of FMCG, we are going to face no problems in capacity because of economies of scale and scope.
No, you are not answering my question, but we are running out of time. So, Sridhar sir, over to you.
I only one question on the business model and financials. What you have in mind?
So the entire business model, as you can see, at the top left is the financials, and the bottom left is the value chain that we have created. So there is this question of who is going to bear the cost. Is it only going to be the consumer, only going to be the company manufacturing it? So we have devised a plan in which it is being borne by different members of the value chain altogether. It is not going to be one person's effort or one company's effort. So, as you can see, Coca-Cola or Campa-Cola or any other Coke manufacturer is going to take it from a bottler, which bottles their beverages. The bottler takes the bottles from the the foam manufacturer, which is then inflated into becoming a PVC bottle. The scraps are taken in from the recyclers, and the chain goes on. So here we can introduce the free model in which the PET recyclers can procure this from the Campa bins for free, entirely zero of cost. Their entire cost is going to be the procurement, which in turn is moved on to the bottle manufacturers, in turn to bottlers, then on to the consumers, and back to Campa Cola then. So it is borne by all of the parties involved and not just one person.
The overall cost of the bottle increases by how much?
Sir, in the top left box, you can see the cost spread is given as 6% to 21% for 600 ml bottles and 4.59% to 16.45% for 200 ml bottles.
That's pretty large.
Yes, sir. Sir, but the cost, as you can see, when we are doing only the bottle caps, it is going to be 3.157 rupees as compared to 2.977. So it is about zero point 0.2 rupees or 20 paise per bottle cap. But this cost is this is actually the marketing cost that we are seeing, because the Green Cap initiative aims to garner attention of the consumers because of the good that it produces, and for 20 paisa for every cap, I think it is going to be a lesser amount when compared to bigger marketing campaigns that any company does.
As the technology is still new and R&D is going on around the world, with time this would be more scalable and the price would only be reducing from there.
We,
So
we are
20
we are
paisa could
we are
very easily be 10, 12 paisa.
sorry guys, we are out of time, but I have a premise for you, and maybe just 15 seconds on that. Your entire thought of this being a sustainable initiative, right? And hence using that to change consumer behavior, getting consumers to actually spend more. 20 paisa in this segment is not small, especially when you're looking at the mass of consumers that are going to do it. But starting with just the cap, correct? My premise that I throw to you is that it is not going to be meaningful for a consumer when the consumer looks at the entire bottle and you say, oh, you know what? Only this particular cap is something which we are starting with. And I understand your point saying that, oh, that is something that we want to start with. But then it is just too little in that overall scheme of things of that entire that entire bottle, correct? Tarun already mentioned that we already have uh, the bottle crushing, recycling, etc., as something which is already happening, right? So therefore, it's nothing new. So my premise is that whatever you're trying to do with the cap is just too little to really impact any sort of behavior. 15 seconds as a response, please.
Sir, rightly mentioned, only seeing at the bottle cap, it is going to be a small impact. But the Campa bins that we have created are going to be in tandem with the sales points of Campa Cola. So the cap is going to be biodegradable wherever in the industrial setting or recycled in the domestic setting. But the bottle PVC can be shredded and brought back into the circulation. So it is a concerted effort between the cap and the bottle, which is going to be very close in proximity to the point of sale of Campa Cola itself. So it is going to be high in visibility to the consumer and kind of act like an IKEA effect that they can see it in front of their eyes that the bottles are getting shredded, can create a big impact when it comes to consumers' perception on sustainability of a brand.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Team Bizarre Bazaar. Now let's allow our jury a minute to complete evaluating the teams. While they make their assessments, why don't we have some fun? Here's an interesting question for the audience. The rules remain simple. Type in the answers in the comment section, and the winners will receive exciting TUP merchandise. Can we have the question, please? And we have our winner here. Jane, you have guessed it right. Please reach out to us on our social media handles or write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our next team. I'd like to call upon teams Revengers versus Team C. Can we have the team Revengers pitch video first played on screen, please?
Do you know about breast cancer? Yes, I do. I've read it on internet. I've come across different campaigns for it and heard about it.
Hi teams, we have Team 3 Musketeers versus Team 1 Force for this particular round. Can we have Team 3 Musketeers video on screen, please?
Everyone, let's talk about something close to our hearts and our dinner tables, agriculture in India. Now think about those juicy tomatoes, the fresh leafy greens, and the aromatic herbs that add flavor to our meals. They're more than just ingredients, they're a part of our daily stories. Agriculture in India accounts for 17% of our GDP, yet it faces profound challenges. In India, 80% of farmland relies on traditional irrigation, worsening water scarcity. Soil degradation impacts 120 million hectares, reducing fertility. Outdated farming persists with only 40% access to modern technology. Pesticide misuse contaminates water with 60% showing chemical residues. This emphasizes the urgency of transformative solutions for sustainability and resilience. And hence, we bring our innovative and modern approach to agriculture, Aquafusion Agritech. Our solution offers hydroponic systems to grow crops like tomatoes, leafy vegetables, celery, and more. We also offer end to end training and assistance to farmers in India. Hydroponic farming is a soilless cultivation method where plants grow in nutrient rich water solutions. It optimizes resource use, accelerates growth, and enables precise control over environmental variables for enhanced crop yields. Our training and guidance program empowers farmers with knowledge and skills needed to seamlessly integrate hydroponics into their practices. Through personalized support, we aim to create a community of proficient hydroponic farmers contributing to sustainable agriculture. Our systems present a noteworthy advancement, significantly reducing water usage by nearly 90%, addressing the prevailing issue of water scarcity and eliminating the need for soil, mitigating concerns associated with degradation and erosion. We provide an efficient solution for land-limited areas, optimizing space through intelligent vertical design. Beyond that, hydroponic fosters crop diversity and reduces vulnerability to pests and diseases. The ability to cultivate year-round ensures a consistent food supply independent of seasonal constraints. Precision in growing conditions contribute to minimize post-harvest losses, ensuring a higher yield. To fully realize the potential of hydroponics, education and support for our farmers are crucial. Our collaborative effort aims to pave the way for a more sustainable and resilient future in Indian agriculture. Thank you, Team NMIMS Mumbai.
So by 2025, every Indian household is expected to spend 35% of its budget on food. This indicates that 60.4% of land which was used for cultivation is now under the threat of soil erosion, deforestation, and overutilization. Every year, more than 6,000 farmers lose their lives due to pesticide-related events. 85% of usable water across the country is used for agriculture alone. Erratic weather conditions contribute 56.5% in the reduction of crop yields. Hence, to address all these problems, we bring to you Aquafusion Agritech hydroponic systems. These are nutrient-rich water solutions that eliminate the need for soil, reduce water consumption by 90%, and allow us to use vertical spaces. So the value proposition that lies in a business model incorporates optimization of resources such as water and space, sustainability education and support, consistent production and yield throughout the year, and integration of modern technologies.
So, talking about our initiatives to build and sustain our customers, we'll first begin by introducing Aqua Agroship Fellowship Program to build a community for the farmers where they share knowledge through forums and help each other. Then comes our hydroponic farming training and education program, AquaCamp. This program aims to equip customers with necessary knowledge and skills for the system. Through our Aquamate app, we aim at technology integration for real-time support, information, and data analytics. Finally, our AquaFriend program will offer dedicated and personalized support, round-the-clock assistance through expert AquaFriends. Further expanding on the features of our apps, we aim to provide information on system development, build sensor circuits, integrate wireless connectivity, and do cloud integration. We also aim at collaborating with Reliance for their products and initiatives like GeoFiber and GeoDigital platform for remote monitoring, data transmission, to name a few. Talking about the market we are addressing, our TAM includes 17% of the GDP, which is Indian entire agriculture industry. The SAM would be the Indian exotic vegetable market with estimated market size of 2.1 billion US dollars in 2023, and the Indian organic food market of $1,500 million. Our SOM would be up to 25 to 30% of households in tier 1 cities that regularly purchase exotic vegetables, and 15 to 20% of the households in tier 1 cities that regularly purchase organic vegetables.
Now, what's in it for our customers? Here we have taken three different vegetable categories to demonstrate the same. We have calculated the revenue for an year for the farmers for an area of 5,000 square feet and compared it against traditional farming. As you can see that the revenue generated by the hydroponic system is much higher than that of the traditional. And you could also see that the farmers can see a significant profit year two onwards. Our business, Aquafusion Agritech, next slide. Our business, Aquafusion Agritech, is trying to incorporate the triple bottom line by empowering the people, communities, by our fellowship program, and trying to increase food security in India. We reduce consumption of water by around 80%, reduce the use of land, and minimize the waste, thus promoting sustainable practices for the future. As presented earlier, earlier the revenue generated by the system is much higher as compared to traditional farming, and we anticipate a good growth potential of the
Hello, am I audible?
I think the disturbance of rituals that Samisha should continue.
So is Vidya done? I think there's some issue with my sound connection.
Samiksha, you can continue. Would you guys want to go ahead with the prototype? I think there's some audio issue.
Everything, or is it just me?
No, it's with everybody.
Okay.
If you guys could just ping Ritul. There's some audio issue at Ritul's
At
end.
her end, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a second.
Samiksha and Aditi, you may take it forward with the blueprint.
Okay, sure. Yeah, 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 definitely. So basically, this is our blueprint that we have done for a 5,000 square feet land. So basically, as you can see towards the left corner, there's this NFT front view. So this is how our system is going to look like. So we have made our structure for 5 layers currently. So this we can use for leafy vegetables such as spinach, lettuce, etc. Whereas the one that you see on the right hand side is for tomatoes. So basically, these are vining plants. So what they do is they need a really large structure, and we do not really need specific layers as such. So this is what our system is going to look like. And NFT is basically where NFT stands for nutrient film techniques. So this is done for smaller plants because the requirements of nutrients are as such. And whereas we can use different kinds of hydroponics for tomatoes, where there's a poly house which takes care of the temperature, nutrient supplies, etc. So this is our blueprint.
Great, thank you guys. Now we would request Team One Force for the idea face-off round.
Hello, team. A great presentation, I must say, and a wonderful idea. So, my first question is with more than 10 startups whose inceptions dated back 2014 in India, are already implementing the same system and providing educational assistance to the farmers. So, how is your model different from theirs? And secondly, we know that in rural India still lacks 24-hour electricity supply. So, hydroponics needs electricity for air, water pump, and environmental control, if I'm not wrong. Absence of energy can affect the plant's health and quality. And we also know that hydroponic systems are very vulnerable to equipment failures, which can kill plants within a few hours. So, how do you plan to handle such outages and failures?
Okay, thank you for the question, Saurav. So, taking up your first sub question, which was about different startups that are coming into the same domain. So, basically, what our competition or our competitors are doing is that they are helping these farmers set up the hydroponic system. But the vegetables and different products that are generated out of it, they are the ones that are selling it in the market as well. So where we put in our differentiating factor is that we are helping these farmers set up these hydroponic systems, uh, produce all of these crops, vegetables, tomatoes, fruits, etc. And then they are the ones that are selling it to the market. So what we are providing them is the after services. We are definitely helping them with the maintenance cost that would come in here. We are helping them with understanding how the systems are used, how they can further expand their businesses, and that is where our main USP lies. So that is where our competitions are not catering to the market that we are looking at. Apart from that, your second question was, could you repeat?
Yeah, so he was talking about the electricity needs. So you were talking about the rural farmers. So our first target area would be the tier one farmers. So those are the ones that are not extremely situated in the rural area. And besides that, we are the ones who are providing the services. So electricity and all that is going to be insured by us. So we will ensure that the systems work properly throughout the year, and we will provide them assistance and guidance throughout the year.
And also maintenance support, adding on to Aditya's point, there would be good maintenance support that would be provided from our side to overcome all the failures or any breakdown that you talked about. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know how the maintenance is going to work. A small deviation. Yeah, but anyways, thank you guys.
So the app that we have incorporated, there is where the farmers can directly pitch in their queries, and they will be in contact with us throughout the process. So this a long-term association. So definitely they will have contacts to us, and they can immediately post up their queries, and we will have people, the man force that will go and help them with the system if that is required. And then of course we plan to integrate remote monitoring so that our consultants on our part can directly have access to what is the issue, and they can come up with solutions even quicker. So that will save us a lot of time, and hence the reduction in the wastage of crops will be taken care of.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Okay, I'll go in first. Hey guys, thank you for this presentation. In fact, hydroponic is something which I have been reading up, and I have a few friends who do it. See, whatever you've presented, I think I echo with the question that was asked by the other team, that this is not new. Um, Whatever numbers that you were showing, etc., I'm familiar with those. Now, my question to you is, what exactly new are you trying to solve here? But before you answer that, I want to understand what is the kind of primary research that you guys have done. When I say primary research, I'm talking about farmer or agriculture, people who are involved in agriculture, understanding from them on what are the possible impediments to adopting this technique. So once I get a sense of that, then you can answer the next question.
For the second part of the question, sir, we have talked to, like, I have some friends who do traditional farming, so I've talked to them as a primary research. Then we have also
What
talked
kind
to
of farms do
some.
they have? What kind of square feet? How big are they
So
as
my
farmers?
friend, yes, so my friend, she does not do the farming, but they employ someone else to do it. So they have around 5 acres of land. And apart from that, we have also tried to talk into educational institutions to get more knowledge on how agriculture works. So another friend, she also is into She has studied agriculture, and yeah, so from there we did our research. Thirdly, we also tried to call and get to know more about our competitors. So that's our third stream from where we tried to figure out.
So, what do you think is the biggest problem or biggest bottleneck or biggest pain point because of which farmers are not taking up this route? Because your PNL says huge profitability, right? You're talking about 8 lakhs earning on a 5,000 square feet plot. So anybody would go for it. Why are they not going for it?
Yes, sir. So the main thing that is stopping them is firstly the high amounts of capex involved in the production of the crops. So initially, if you see the cost that is incurred to acquire the whole system, that is huge. For traditional agriculture, that cost is reduced to very minimal amounts. So over here, the capex, the poly house, the structure, the semi-automatic structure, and everything, they cost around about 15 lakhs. So that is a huge amount for of the farmers to invest in. That is where we come in with our value proposition, wherein we also assist them about the subsidies that are associated with polyhouse and different techniques that are involved in agri farming. And apart from that, we also assist them to get loans for this long term investment.
Yeah, so this financing part is something which I did not get a good sense of in your pitch. Take 15, 30 seconds to just take me through it before other jury members step in.
And
Yes, sir.
sorry, adding to what Tarun is saying, what is the additional element that you're bringing into financing, considering the fact that you're anyway going to target large farmers, which is the point that you made to the question by the other team? So, what is the incremental benefit that you're going to bring into this entire financing piece, which a large farmer is not going to be able to do himself or herself?
Okay, so sir, firstly walking through the cost for the farmers. So over here, as you can see, the capex that involves the poly house, the system cost, and the semi-automatic climatic condition and labor involved. So that is our capex. And apart from that, the agricultural inputs, the electricity involved in the maintenance is what our variable cost is comprising of. Then apart from that, would others like to take up the
No, no, these we understand. I'm talking about how are you going to finance? Because you said you're going to help the farmers with this. So, in effect, while you are becoming an agri consultant, in effect, your business is becoming a financing company. Because if you're going to finance 15 lakh rupees through various sources to such a large plethora of farmers, you're becoming a financing company.
Yes, sir. So our motto is not to finance directly. Our motto is assistance to the finance. So which is us telling them where all can they take the loans from, how can they apply for the subsidies. So that is the part that we come in and we help
So,
the
in your
farmers.
problem statement definition, in your primary research, did you come across this problem statement that farmers don't know where to go to avail capex loans? Is that something which was a finding?
Yes, sir. In fact,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. Even in fact, farmers are not very well aware about hydroponics in general. So to convince them about these subsidies, to actually make them understand about what are the different benefits. Even while we were doing our research, we were kind of shocked that there are so many different schemes that the government has come up with. So they do not really know how to, use them in the right way.
But
So
I'm not
that is
seeing
where
any data from you that you talked to 20 different farmers and this is what they said. I'm hearing a lot of hypothesis. It's a big
No,
statement to
sir.
make that farmers are not aware because I have a contrary point of view.
Sir, many of the farmers are not aware. To clarify the statement, what we mean is that the farmers who are closer to tier 1, tier 2 cities are comparatively more aware of hydroponic systems. But of course, to get to know more about this, we'll have to then tap into those
Let's
farmers.
rest this because only data can solve for it. I think we should move to other questions. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so you talked about the USP. So what we are bringing new is that the other competitors in this business, what they're trying to do is that they are trying to capitalize on other farmers. They are trying to sell their own Like they are not just selling the system, then they afterwards also get into selling the produce, and then they take some part of the revenue that they have generated. Now, what we are trying to do here is that we are just trying to give the system, make them stand at a certain space that yes, now you can go forward from here, help them, but we are not trying to capitalize the produce that they are going to create later.
Sridharji, your question.
Yeah. See, agriculture is a very sensitive subject in India, right? And farmers are mostly uneducated, whether you take close to urban area or away from urban area, right? And you were talking about apps and different technology. Anyway, technology already exists. You were talking about their adoption and all that. Is it really that scalable, do you think? Their acceptance to all this, especially when the cost is involved, they're not clear on the returns, right?
So currently, like the system, hydroponic system are in India from the 90s, but now they have started to speed up. So we are expecting a 13.53% of CAGR each year on the adoption of these systems. So we have done research on that part.
Yes, sir. And that is also where we aim to focus for the initial years. That is to actually spread awareness about this and about the entire system. So initially, yes, we are going to target tier one and two cities, but then gradually we will move to like across all the cities.
So, just a rough timeline that we have is for the next 2 years is that first 2 quarters for the coming year, we would be involved into planning and research, where we would do market analysis and product development, partnership building, and regulatory compliances. After that, in the third and fourth quarter, we plan to go with the pilot program and testing, farm outreach, feedback and integration, all those things. And from the second year, for the first 2 quarter, again, we are aiming to scale the operations and scale our supply chain optimization and all those things. Post that, in the second year's third and fourth quarter, we plan for a full scale launch and technology upgradation.
Can I just make a quick point? See, the point is that I think you're not trying to implement something which is completely new, right? In terms of a technology or in terms of new farming practices, etc., is concerned, right? So the entire crux, right, of your proposal is essentially is how do you get people to adopt and how do you sort of scale this up, right? That because there's no new technology involved, it's something which is already there, it is well established that it has certain benefits, and there are certain disadvantages which you also pointed out in terms of setup costs, maintenance, etc., right? So the entire, your entire proposal really rests on how do you take this to market, how do you make people adopt, how do you make people sustain on this, and how do you scale it up, right? In my view, I really did not get any of that. While there is a lot of intent, and you sort of also made and shared timelines, etc., but in terms of the specifics, in terms of how you would make that happen, is probably something that I did not really sort of get. So maybe you might want to just look at that a little bit. I'm not sure whether we have
So
any. But, yeah.
Sorry to cut you, but to answer your point, so we are going ahead with the agro fellowship specifically to target the customers to actually make them go to these places to acquire that kind of community. So this community building is not just for the farmers, it's also for us to actually target the market, to actually bring them to us and talk to them about this system and make them understand that this is some way that you can generate better revenue, a more sustainable revenue. So that's why
Yes.
these four aspects are here, wherein we start with the fellowship. So that is specifically to get to the target market.
Yes, so we also plan to integrate it with television ads, specifically focusing on Doordarshan or the different areas or targets where farmers are easily contactable, easily available, and can be contacted. So those are our prime points, or maybe in the rural areas where we'll go and we'll actually have kind of conversations, workshops, events with all these farmers.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Three Musketeers, for a great presentation. We would now like to invite Team One Force for their idea presentation. Can we have their pitch video, please?
It all changed one night, filled with laughter but also regrettable choices. A close friend of mine met with a serious bike accident. India witnessed a total number of more than 4.5 lakh road accidents, out of which 66% of road accidents involve two-wheelers, leading to approximately 3 lakh deaths. This translates to 9 deaths every hour. Usually young people are worst affected. Major reasons being overspeeding, drunken driving, drowsiness, helmet non-usage, distracted driving. Is there any way to handle these problems? Yes, human body can give several signals when person is drowsy or drunk driving. Hence, our one-stop solution to all these problems, ProGuard Smart Ride series. With machine learning technology, enhances two-wheeler rider safety by detecting drowsiness and alcohol, using data metrics to promote and improve safer riding behavior. Brain waves are generated, which detected, processed, filtered, and identified through scanning by the smart helmet, which uses EEG detector. The frequency now obtained is used to classify the current brainwave frequency of the rider. Then it is converted to vibrations and sound, indicating the drowsiness and eventually awakening the driver. The proposed smart helmet integrates alcohol detection via a sensor, enabling the controller unit to initiate a lockdown command into two-wheeler. The ignition is then cut off. Or the receiver unit will fire a high-frequency alarm, then an SMS will be sent to a pre-saved number saying that this person is either drunk or he is in a risky situation. Our smart helmet consists of various components which are placed according to their functionality. Main processing unit, alcohol sensor, EEG processing unit, Bluetooth module, speaker. The smart helmet's controller unit cuts off ignition through ignition unit on two-wheeler. Upon receiving a Bluetooth command to assess the two-wheeler status, sends an SMS alert through the GSM module. The ProGuard smart app only works when you wear the helmet correctly, making you ride safer and more enjoyable. It automatically disconnects calls for safety, and the caller gets a notification. The smart helmet connected to an app helps you save fuel by giving real-time tips on how to use it more efficiently, all on your phone. In case of trouble on the road, a single click triggers an emergency alert with your location to contacts. Accident detection technology will ensure immediate notification of any incidents. The app integrated with helmets gives you direction through speakers, and it uses GPS to check your speed. If you are overspeeding, the helmet sends sound alerts. Get points for riding safely, rank nationally with ProGuard riders, and use those points for discounts at partner restaurants. Thank you so much.
In the silent narratives of road tragedies, ProGuard Smart ecosystem emerges as a symbol of change. This smart helmet is a safety powerhouse, saving as the first line of defense. The competitive landscape is growing. Other players majorly focus on areas like communication, AR displays, or crash detection. Our USP lies in alcohol drowsiness detection with a well rounded feature set, not offered by our competitors. Harnessing the synergy of our stakeholders, we aim to seize the organized helmet wearing market, targeting B2B sector in the first year, penetrating the market with an estimate of 70,000 smart helmets. ProGuard is a tech solution and service provider collaborating with contract manufacturers. We specialize in IoT designs and software integration for helmets and leveraging our warehousing and logistics services, delivering end products seamlessly. Our primary target, B2B focus, includes delivery, quick com services, and vehicle aggregators. Our ecosystem offers consumers such as Rapido various benefits like rider tracking, safer rides, group insurance at lower premiums, and tax advantages, ultimately reducing the overall ownership cost. Post market and product understanding, we'll target B2G, aligning with the government's police modernization schemes. Nimisha, you're requested to unmute yourself.
Our business model will be implemented in a phased manner, focusing firstly on primary targets, initiating with a 25% discount that gradually diminishes. By the third year, our helmet will embrace the B2C market, continuously focusing on innovation, expansion, and technological evolution. ProGuard helmet strategically anchors itself on the perpetual map. Competitively priced at 1,999 per unit, it encompasses all features essential for rider safety. The unit cost for helmets is around rupees 2610, which progressively drops as production scales up with increasing sales volume. Business requires an initial investment of approximately rupees 1.6 crores. The business generates income through three channels. Revenue is expected to grow at a CAGR of around 38%. Company predicts reaching break-even after second year and turning profitable by the end of third year. Reliance benefits by venturing into two-wheeler segment, leveraging their robust 5G LTE network for location tracking, telematics, and safety. Geo's cloud analysis helps with tailored products, and our collaboration strengthens Geo's position, facilitating insurance sales through Geo Financial Services with personalized coverage. Before handing over to jury, we would like to request Unstop to play our prototype video for further demonstration.
IR sensor to detect human presence. Start ignition without wearing a helmet. No response from two-wheeler displaying message to put the helmet on. On wearing helmet, two-wheeler will start. Alcohol detection sensor. Send the signal to the processing unit. Here the two-wheeler is on standby. Bring alcohol near the sensor. Ignition doesn't start. Fall detection. Sends travel location to emergency contact. Introducing the mobile application. Sign up and help with the personal information and current location. Create your profile. Connect the application via Bluetooth to the helmet and access features including customization and enjoy the services.
Thank you, team. For the idea face off round, we would now like to invite Team 3 Musketeers.
Hello, team. Good presentation, great idea. So, a quick two-part question. How do you plan to sell this product to customers in India where safety habits like wearing helmets are minimal? And considering the multiple sensors that you're going to add, what's the maintenance cost? Uh, is there a customer service approach and strategy for breaking even with added expense? The second part is that additionally, is it not dangerous to cut off the ignition while driving? So imagine you're on a six-lane road where other vehicles are cruising at 60 plus speed. So how do you plan to address this potential safety concern on the highways?
If I take up your first part, if I'm correct, you asked about, can you just repeat the very first part, the very first line?
So how do you plan to sell the products to Indian consumers who do not have the safety habit of wearing helmets?
So,
And
if you see our, yes, thank you so much for your question. If you see our pitch presentation, our target market, the total addressable market that we are taking the people who are wearing helmet, who have this habit of wearing helmet, and from that also we are targeting the organized sector, further targeting the B2B market. So our first target segment right now is not people who do not wear very much helmet. Obviously, they do need to follow regulations, but as of now, our target would be firstly those which was obviously mentioned in our presentation as well, who are wearing helmet, and all our financials and everything has been calculated as per that. Can move on to your second part of the question? What was that? Please, can you repeat?
So it was that suppose like you're cruising on a six-lane highway, it's the vehicles around you are going 60 plus speed at least, and what if the ignition cuts off in the middle? So how do you plan to address the safety issue?
Okay, so I'll take up that question. So for that, as we have proposed, ignition will not be cut off in during the ride. We are detecting the helmet wearing and the alcohol sensing at the beginning of the ride and not during the ride. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
Okay, and from the first part, how do you plan to address the maintenance cost because you have a lot of system into the helmet? So, what's the plan for that?
So, maintenance services will be inbuilt in our application, and they can use the maintenance services in our application itself. And we'll be collaborating with a few service providers in the tier one cities, firstly, who will help us with the maintenance and everything.
Uh, so, is there a break even calculated for that? Like considering the maintenance that has to go in, the cost of the helmet, and all those?
Yes, everything has been taken into financials, even the maintenance costs and services.
Okay.
Thank you, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Sridharji, you go in first because Shantanuji and I, we have already gone through this pitch once. We'll go in after you.
Sridharji, would you like to go first?
Can start, Shatarji.
Okay, guys, good to see you again. And I see that post the initial round, you have made some updates to your deck. I remember feedbacks like bills of material now, so that's great. I have one question, and I think we debated about this in the first round. The product involves multiple technology as well as software elements. I want to understand from this team, how do they plan to bring in the required subject matter expertise to be able to deliver the right kind of hardware with the right kind of software backing? And how do you ensure that that is going to work seamlessly in a live environment? Because over here we are talking about a life and death situation. So if you can just help me with your thoughts on that.
So, sir, coming to your question, thank you so much for your question, firstly. Also, if you talk about subject matter expertise, so we'll be obviously be touch even for making the prototype. We were in touch with some electronical engineers and other engineers who helped us building the prototype. So, if we see our financials, also we have projected a team of at least 10 members, which will have people who will be helping us develop the application, who will help us make the designs for IoT devices, and who will also help us implement it. So obviously we will be the brain behind it, but we'll have people. So around 10 people will be there in our team to help us with that. Also, we'll be using contract manufacturing at first, since we do not have the expertise of manufacturing. So at the beginning we'll be using contract manufacturing, so that they can, obviously the contract manufacturers will be having the expertise, and we'll just see and monitor how they do it, and our product will be patented, so that technology does not go out. That's the first part of your question. The second part of your question, it was how do we maintain it?
No, actually, the first part, see, I don't know if you understand this. Whenever we talk about any tech product, which is also having a hardware component, so it requires a seamless integration between the hardware and the software, right? So my question is about how are you going to bring in that, or what are your thoughts around building a seamless platform which will connect hardware and software for a right experience? Is it something which is available in a team? If not, how do you plan to bridge that gap? Simple example, a phone is a piece of hardware, it has got multiple apps. So there's a seamless integration between the two, and hence your phone works well. You're talking about a helmet which has got multiple hardware components, but it will be driven by some intelligent logics, so both have to talk to each other. How are you going to make sure that that happens in a flawless manner?
So, if I understand your question correctly, your our device will be connected via a Bluetooth device and with the application. So, because of that, it will be easier communication between the devices. Also, we'll be having a GSM module and eSIM, which will be able to communicate and capture all the data and send messages for seamless transactions. So,
So
if you
these
are
are all
asking,
English, guys. I'm talking about core tech.
Yeah, so sir, basically, I am from information technology background, and
Yeah.
all four of us are engineers. So we have
Mhm.
some basic knowledge regarding these things, and for like the major expertise for that, we'll be approaching the experts in this field. As we said, we'll be hiring a team for R&D as well. So that is what we plan to do.
Last question, the prototype video that you guys showed, right? Over there, I
Yes.
saw that alcohol, sensor video. So is that something which you guys are doing, or is it something which is not proprietary? What is the case?
No, sir. So for basically for this alcohol detection prototype, what we did was for the prototype, we took some basic components. Like in this case, we took the main processing unit and attached it with the bike. Whereas when it comes
So you are
to
saying that that
commercial,
video is your proprietary. You did that in a garage.
uh, sir, we contacted this electronics person and we took his help. So he helped us assemble all these
Mhm.
components, and he helped us with the entire demonstration of this prototype.
So that is for real. You got it done. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Shantanuji, you can.
Yeah, guys, good to meet up again. Um, so, quick one. Um, you already have smart helmets in the market, right? And what is your estimate of the smart helmet market right now, as far as India is concerned? You mentioned about 30% in terms of helmet wearing, etc. But in terms of actual, because if you go to, any of the e-commerce sites, and I'm sure any of the other relevant stores, etc., you will get smart helmets, right? It might not have some of the features that you are mentioning in terms of drowsiness or in terms of alcohol detection. But whatever is there, what is your estimate of the smart helmet market today? Okay, so
so, so yes. Sir, if I take up this question, so the smart helmet market currently in India, there's no exact figures if you go around about it. Since the helmet market currently in India is very small. We talk about penetration. If the penetration in India and the CAGR, the penetration is less than 1% in India as of now. So the penetration is pretty low, and they are not exact numbers. If there are numbers, and the global market is increasing by 17% CAGR, but when we talk about India's, the exact numbers and the exact figures are not estimated exactly. But there are few competitors, exactly like you said, they do not have the same USP as ours. But you cannot just pinpoint the numbers since they have not been estimated. We have gone through multiple various resources, but we can estimate that the penetration is low since our competitors say that, and also that the CAGR it's going with.
there's an offshoot of what Tarun asked earlier. is that you already are looking at a market where some sort of product is available, but adoption is abysmal, right? I mean, there's hardly any adoption. So how are you going to essentially convince potential customers as to the efficacy of this product and the fact that it is something which has the relevant expert input, etc., and hence how is it that you are going to go about maximizing adoption?
Definitely, sir. So obviously rider safety is something that comes into account, but apart from that a customer look at multiple aspects. So one example that we talked about was Rapido. If we go to a B2B consumer, they also look at what they are gaining out of a product. So here we are also trying to reduce, like a company like Rapido, they use tracking services to track their drivers, riders. With this help of a helmet, you can eliminate those tracking services. You can imply and collaborate with the insurance companies and take help insurance for your employees and your vehicles through these insurance companies using the Pro Card helmet services and ecosystem. And also you can have tax advantages. So it's not just one thing, there are multiple faceted advantages that a person will get from our helmet by adapting our technology and our helmet. So obviously there are multiple things. And also a person who sits behind, if I'm a normal consumer of Rapido, if I know that this is something that's happening, I would also be insured and entrusted with my own safety. So there are multiple things which we will incorporate while doing that. And apart from that, there are multiple features that are also there, like speed tracking, other things, and data collection, so that we can provide further features on everything in later stages.
Also, sir, what our competitors are offering is at a very high cost, and if it is at low cost, then the features they are offering are very minimalistic, like Bluetooth connectivity and audio connection, which I think some which is very common, and someone won't look up for a smart helmet for those kind of features. So that is the reason why the helmet adoption is still quite low in our country.
Last question, time's up. In terms of your costing, right? In terms of the buildup of the cost that you've done, saying that, okay, fine, this is how much a helmet is going to really cost to produce, and therefore this is the price at which we are going to sort of sell it. Given the fact that your competitors are not able to do it, right? How would you really go about sort of doing that?
So, I'll talk about one competitor, such as Alter. So they have, a smart touch sensing, which is not much required as of now in helmets. So they are using few components which are pretty expensive. So even what we have calculated our component cost, it is lower than that. And also right now, because we are not having our own manufacturing setup and we are taking help from other contract manufacturers, that also help us reducing the unit cost of the product. I think if someone else want to take it further, can take it this question.
So we
No,
have
it's
also
fine.
included many, yeah.
Sorry, carry on, carry on.
Yeah. So we have also included many components that are required for the smart helmet, as mentioned in the slide. And also we can see from the unit economics too, like in the first year we have like initial investment that is required in the first year. So we kind of have a little more amount in the first year itself. But after that, in the coming years, we'd be having a decreasing amount of cost per unit. So it shows like we'll be having production at volume, and also the devices sold would be according to the our business model that we are prescribing here. So this shows the selling of the number of sold helmets would be increased in the coming years.
Just adding one more point, since we are going B2B first, our marketing cost will also be very less as compared to our competitors.
You've mentioned a GSM module and a eSIM here separately. What are these?
Basically, eSIM will be included in the eSIM. So we are using this eSIM to send the SMS on the fault detection itself. Like suppose we were thinking about one use case. Suppose a person forgets the phone or the battery of the phone dies. and a person meets with an accident, then also the message should be sent to the emergency contact. So for that purpose, we'll be
That is
including
understood.
eSIM
So,
helmet.
your eSIM is going to be what part of your GSM module? Because I'm assuming
Yes.
this is something which is, and you are only going to your cost for that is only some 28 odd bucks.
So that is like the initial cost of the eSIM, and for the recharging cost, that will be a part of the subscription of the. Uh,
No, I'm not talking about recharge, just the hardware. Okay, fine. Thanks.
yeah, yes, sir. It's that much only, like what we
Okay.
were able to get.
So
You
we
got
have
this from
taken in
where? You got
account.
the cost from where? Amazon.
So we have used Amazon, India Mart, from wherever it was available. We got the cost, and we also, since we'll be taking the components directly from the manufacturer, not from a retailer or any e-commerce site. So we have tried estimating it as per the bulk orders as well. Since the bulk orders would have a reduced cost, and also we'll be taking, so we'll be eliminating the supply chain components there as well. So that's why the cost of components would be a little lower than what is estimated or given on Amazon or India Mart.
Okay, thank you.
I have just one
Thank you,
small
sir.
question. Yeah, the in the video I've seen that unit, it looks quite bulky, right? And Indian bike owners generally like their bikes and designs and all that. Will it fit in that bike?
So right now the components, yes, definitely it will fit in the bike. The components of the chips that we'll be procuring will be very small. Right now it was because since we do not have that expertise as of now and the equipment as of now, so we use the bigger equipments that were available in the market and easier to procure. But once we start, the chips will be used, which will be very small and having very low weight, so that it is comfortable to wear, have rider convenience as well, and won't give any difference from what when you wear a normal helmet. So it's not heavy as well. So it is easily fittable, easily can be easily done. So there won't be any issue with that.
Uh, I just have a few closing comments. I don't expect a response. First, the tech aspect of your product, please think it through. I think that requires more detailing, more thinking. You had a slide on MVP and going scaling up year on year, right? While academically that slide makes sense, but you need to have more substance behind that. Second, your bills of material is only talking about the sensors and all. You're quoting a MRP of 1999 at a cost of 1800 something. That is not going to happen, right? Because your bills of material also includes sales and distribution cost, logistics cost, software development cost, etc. So just please work on that and try and have a better costing mechanism. And MRP should be a derivative, in my opinion. So no, this is you're talking, showing me a PNL. I'm talking about bills of material, unit costing. So yeah, these are some observations I think which would make this a stronger case. Yeah. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you, Team One Force, for an interesting idea presentation. Now, let's allow our jury a minute to complete scoring the teams. While they make their assessments, we'll have another interesting question for the audience. The rules remains the same. Type in the answers in the comment section and win exciting TUP merchandise. Can we have the question, please? Arnab Mondal, you have guessed it right. Arnab, you may reach out to us on our social media handles or write it to us at support@unstop.com. Moving on, we are now ready for our next teams, for which I would now like to call upon Teams Revengers and Team C. Can we first have Team Revengers pitch video played on the screen, please?
Do you know about breast cancer? Yes, I do. I've read it on internet. I've come across different campaigns for it and you heard about it from a colleague in the camp. Do you know how often you should perform a breast cancer inspection? Yes, twice a month. Yes. Maybe once or twice a month. I'm not sure. But I guess it might be once a week or twice a month. Are you familiar with the steps for performing a breast cancer self-exam at home? No. Well, it can be done with the help of trying to find the lumps. No. Did you ever have a mammogram before? No. Yes, I have. So it seems very uncomfortable to be honest, and it's very explosive. Going for a mammogram is not an easy job.
Globally, 2.3 million women are diagnosed with breast cancer, causing around 3,85,000 deaths. In India, it accounts for 14% of all cancer, leading to about 90,000 deaths annually. One death in every 6 minutes.
Early diagnosis. Early diagnosis saves life. This is the big term. The message has to go home is early diagnosis saves life.
Early Sense, a rechargeable smart roller with pressure sensor tips which detect breast cancer lumps, offering real-time AI imaging and sensing via a phone app for non-invasive early detection of breast cancer. Early Sense roller is painless, non-invasive, portable and easy to use. Early Sense application provides real-time results, is AI-powered, provides early warning and self-check reminder. Technical specifications, it has 3 parts. First, pressure sensor, gauges breast tissue force and detect lumps. Second, grip with Bluetooth module for communication with smartphones. Third, microprocessor with battery unit for data processing and Bluetooth communication.
Let us see the demonstration of Early Sense. You can build a map of your torso by rolling the rollers vertically as well as horizontally in the following manner demonstrated. It creates a map for the same. All the areas are covered in real time. The app uses month-by-month comparisons and collates the data in the following manner to flag abnormalities in breast tissue.
Application reminds you in time for your next self-check. Our idea is futuristic, AI-enabled, solves a real-life problem, challenges the conventional wisdom of using mammogram. Business is scalable due to easy availability of AI devices. Hence, we can develop a business out of it.
Cancer is the second most leading cause of death worldwide, among which breast cancer is largest. 2.3 million women are diagnosed with breast cancer globally. In India, it accounts for 14% of all cancers, leading to 90,000 deaths annually, which is one death in every 6 minutes. How early detection saves? At stage 1, it has 98% survival rate, which reduces to 27% at stage 4. The traditional ways are mammography, ultrasound, biopsy, and atom detection. These are expensive, painful, expensive, inaccessible to rural areas, and have radiation risk. Our solution, Early Sense, uses piezoelectric sensors to build a 3D topology of the human breast. The topology map is then sent to the connected smartphone module, where using AI algorithm, a 3D image of the breast is made and stored for a month-by-month comparison
Topology
of
map is
breast
then
health.
sent to
It is
the connected
AI-enabled with
AI
high
app,
accuracy and
which
privacy.
does
It
a month
provides
by month
instant report and
comparison
reminders. It
to
is
give you the
non-invasive,
structure
painless,
at
portable,
where
and affordable.
the
In perceptual mapping, its first quarter static, it is non-invasive and is comparatively cheaper. The other products are pricey, invasive, and has lot of competition in the market. The total addressable market is 663 million, and our main target market is early and gravel is 7.9 million. The following personas are main target: strong women who are health conscious, tech savvy, active in wellness online, medical influencers who are often the first point of contact for medical advice, and vigilant mothers who prioritizes family health. Let us look at the financials. Our NPV is around 8.7 crore, IRR 37%, CAGR 15%, and profit 24%. Unit economics. Each product is priced at 12,000 and total cost incurred is 7,890. According to the financials, we will reach the break-even point in the second year. For the GTM strategy, our target market is women in metro cities aged 24 to 65. For regulatory compliance, we required MD 7 and 12, class C and D. Our value proposition is that we provide at-home detection, non-invasive, painless, and provides monthly report. We will be distributing through retail pharmacies and distributors. Also, we would be having a freemium model for the application. For market and promotion, we will do lifestyle branding, blogs and articles, seminars and workshop. Post-launch, we will work on customer support and diversification. Our mentors are Jan Campbell, who is AIML expert from Cornell University, Dr. Suresh Mohan, oncologist from Johns Hopkins University, Dr. D.Y. Tripathi, professor in histology in Rishikesh. We are currently in collaboration with two oncology departments for validating our prototype on 50 plus patients in these two hospitals. Thank you.
We request the Unstruck team to play our prototype video.
Our prototype. First, we designed an agronomical prototype using Google SketchUp, then made a 3D printed prototype, and here is the version 1.0. Our prototype is connected to a smartphone application using Bluetooth. Here one can scan, upload, and see reports generated. AI-powered application is connecting to the smart ruler. This is our real-time demonstration of the website named Demo Early Sense. Users can click on the Scan Now feature to use AI to compare 3D breast topology. One can upload scanned images from here and check the health status. We have used some real healthy breast topology that we have collected from Mission Hospital Durgapur to demonstrate. You can see AI detects it as healthy. The same process can be done with any Google image for breast cancer. Hence, we have searched for one at random. We would be downloading it and uploading the same for detection. Here we demonstrate our capabilities to identify breast cancer from any random 3D topology. As shown, it detects possibility of breast cancer. We have trained our model feeding it over 4,000 data sets of 3D breast topology and have gained high accuracy for the same.
Thank you, team. We would now like to invite Team C for the idea face-off round.
Hi team, it's commendable that you're focusing on an unaddressed need, but I would like to share some facts. The mortality to incidence ratio, which is basically the number of deaths to the number of cancer cases in a year for breast cancer, was found to be 0.08 in urban areas and 0.66 in rural areas, which is 7 times more than urban. So the majority of 90,000 deaths of breast cancer mentioned by you are from rural areas. So your current business plan appears to miss the target by only focusing on a privileged demographic who are to some degree self-aware and have access to medical facilities, thus neglecting the actual problem. So my question is A, how will your model be adapted or expanded to address the urgent needs of the rural women given your price point and the technological requirements? And B, there are companies like Niramay who is providing a hands-off AI-powered home testing of breast cancer at a much lower price, and EU Life Sciences, which is partnered with Pfizer and launched iBreast Exam, which uses similar product to map the breast and similar technology linked with smartphone like yours. So how are you going to compete with these like already existing and FDA approved products backed by pharma giants? Over to you guys.
Thank you, Pooja, for the question. I would like to answer it. As you've mentioned, the most of the mortality rate that is occurring is mostly on the rural areas. That's completely right. But there is a huge population, given the India's population being 1.4 billion, give us enough market space to address the urban population first, because it would be easy for us to market them. And given, as you have already mentioned, the amount of education they have already are, we are going to find it very easy to cater to them first. Secondly, we are targeting detection, not mortality. Our product doesn't deal with early stage of breast cancer. It only deals with the earliest phases of breast cancer, that you have a chance of getting breast cancer or not. So we use the ECG, the first layer of MRI topography to know whether the person is getting a good MRI, a person is getting a good topology or not. For that instance, we specifically target the cities because of the good internet connectivity issues. As we will scale up our venture to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, we'll be definitely targeting to the lower strata of the bottom of the pyramid as well. This would be this growth would be fueled by the money and the business that we have generated from these stratas. As ours being a startup, we require the some amount of capital and some breathing space in terms of profit. So we that's why we targeted the higher demographic of A1 and A2 population first. Coming to the second question, as you have mentioned, there are several competitors that had been trying to solve breast cancers, but there are no successfully large scale commercially adopted model that has came into existence. I do not know in India if any company right now is selling any large scale commercial model for at home breast cancer treatment. So the space is quite open for us to penetrate, and our technology uses AMM technology, which is further toned down of the conventional MRI technology, which is nearly 98% accurate. That's why we had with various hospitals like Max Hospital in Noida and Mission Hospital, and we got the regulatory approval from them to go further. We are also catering to the MD7 licenses, which requires a high level of accuracy. So I think that answers your question.
Sure. So I think you can look at the eye breast exam. It's available in India. That's about it from my end. Thank you.
Yes, sure. iBreast is available in India, but that's catering to a different segment, and that's a different technology. We are using the first layer of MRI topology to measure the breast cancer at using piezoelectric sensors. So completely different technology. And iBreast, as you have correctly mentioned, it's a technology that has been for years and yet to see any large scale adaptation. But our technology is completely novel. You can Google it right now that you won't find anyone measuring the breast abnormalities using piezoelectric sensors. Thank you.
Great, thank you, teams. We'll now proceed with the jury Q&A.
Okay, guys, I'm amazed by the problems that you guys are trying to solve. Brilliant. Two questions. First of all, I'm not very worried about business and all. I think what you're trying to solve for is very noble. Within that, I want to understand what is the technique that you are using. You touched upon it, but I couldn't catch it. I understand imaging techniques. I understand X-ray, CT scan, etc. Over here, I couldn't understand what is the. So you showed 3D buildup of the breast area. Uh, how is that happening? What is the technology behind it? And how is that technology leading to identification of a lump or probability of a blocked vein, etc., which is an indication of breast cancer? So I want to understand that piece because that is the basis of your product, right? Second, it's good that you took us through your mentors. I want to understand what role do they play in developing this prototype, right? And whether this prototype is something which is a proprietary of the four of you, or is it something else? So if you can
Yes,
give
sir.
me with these two things in detail.
Yes, sir. So I have a prototype, as you can see in my hand, if I can show you. So such the prototype uses the nodes of piezoelectric sensor. So what piezoelectric sensor mainly does is uh, send a small electrical signal if there is a change of the altitude or the pressure that is measured by the piezoelectric sensor, right? If there is any change in the depth of the sensor, it sends a signal. So we use piezoelectric sensor module all around the model. so that we can measure
Is
the
there
depth.
any existing use case of this sensor used in healthcare technology?
Yes, sir, not in healthcare technology. Our Corsair model is used to find out the road abbreviations in America, where this sensor is used to find out if there is any gap in the roadway system. So if there is any gap, the pressure sensor sends a signal that yes, there is a gap, and this area needs to be repaired. So manually or satellite imaging repairing of roads is very expensive. Installing it, this type of technology in cars saves money to the government. Coming to your answer, how this technology works. So the piezoelectric sensor, what is does is, when there is an abbreviation or lump in the breast, it's generally very small and very delicate. So you cannot find it via home detection, that is using hands. So you need some type of calibrated tool that can find out the small abbreviation that is present in the breast. So using piezoelectric sensor, so the sensor rolls, so it creates a 3D image
Yeah.
of the topography that it is rolled on. And if there is any abbreviation, the sensor get pushed a little bit more than the regular soft tissues, and we find out yes, there is an abbreviation change, and we track the month by month data so that we can see whether the lump is benign or tumor, or whether the lump is increasing or decreasing in size. Uh, if that answered your question, sir.
And you were showing a website where you were Googling images and uploading there, where
Yes, sir.
you
Yes, sir.
mentioned about usage of AI and some 4,000 data points LLM that you
Yes,
have
sir.
built. So
Yes, sir.
what is that for?
Sir, that is for our application, because currently we are in that phase that we require a app builder to integrate. Building an app is quite harder than the building a website. So we implemented our module in the website first using ImageNet technology and Google Teachable Machine, so that we can demonstrate what the capabilities we are having. Initial, that was for initial prototype, and in the later phase 2 of our project, we will be integrating the same technology in our app, so that when the roller gets connected with the phone, the directly data gets transmitted to the app. Right now what we are doing is taking the roller's data and uploading into the website. So it's a manual process. We're gonna automate it in the coming months, sir.
Okay. And mentors, if you can just cover that
Yes.
before.
Uh, yes, sir. Because of the mentors, we get access to this hospital and reputed universities. I, being a subject expert in this, I have done my bachelor's in the field of pharmacy with two papers in oncology, specifically in breast cancer only, sir. So this project, I thought of it making from quite a years back, but this time during my final year, I really got the opportunity and the resources to make it. So that was it. And our mentor, Dr. Suresh Mohan, really helped us in the legal aspect, that what all legalities we have to go through to connect with the hospital and get the real life data. Because what we are earlier testing was European Union's data that was downloaded from the internet, but Indian authorities require us to, if we want to get a MD7 license, we have to test it on Indian audience. So professors and mentors like this connects us to the hospitals from where we collect the data and train our machine learning algorithm to become more accurate. So when we started our project, we were at 58% accuracy. Now we have reached 87% accuracy. As our data set will increase, we'll surely reach 98% threshold, where we can get MD7 licenses, the class C licenses that were required for medical scale manufacturing, sir.
Guys, very, very well put together. So, congratulations as far as that is concerned. I just had a couple of very quick questions. You are essentially, proposing a technology which you just said, has been used for anomalies in roadways, correct? So, from roadways to the human body, correct? So, you know, how do you, I mean, how do you know whether this tech works? And it's absolutely fine because it could be something of an innovation, but how do we understand whether this is something which actually sort of works or not? Number one. Number two is, in terms of your device that you are making, right? Do you foresee any challenges in terms of utilization of the device as far as application on the breast of a lady is concerned, or in terms of it all depends upon those specific piezoelectric caps, right? So therefore, is there a challenge you foresee in terms of maintaining that, in terms of wearing that down, etc.?
Uh, Sir, we see as a team, we see opportunity in every challenges, sir. So the second, answering to your second question, I would like to say that the current technologies that ladies used put to diagnose their breast cancer is, one is mammogram and another is MRI. So for mammogram, you have to visit a hospital, expose your breast. That is very uncomfortable for many women, because it is a issue of the data security also, and ladies are generally hesitant to expose their bodies uh, because of obvious reason. So it's very explosive. That catered, that brought us to the idea, why not we can build something that could be used in the home, in the security and privacy of home, which will have no camera, but you can use the
No,
existing
that
technology.
is, I'm not questioning the need for the
Oh,
device. I am just trying to understand the technology that you're using in this. Is my understanding is that probably you're proposing it, and it's not something which is currently used for this kind of an application, right? You only mentioned that it's used for uh, detecting faults in roadways, right? So therefore, how do you know that this is essentially something that's going to work, or is it something that you're working through in terms of the prototyping and testing in the specific hospitals that you've mentioned here?
Sir, yes, sir. As I have mentioned, the technology is very noble. You won't find this technology being used in humans as if now, sir. But I think the technology works, given our track record that we have given, collaborating is these two hospital and getting an accuracy of above 80%, sir. So we are surely trying to build this technology, but as if now there are no as such companies that are trying to replicate the same, sir.
What is the reference accuracy that you need? Is 80% good enough, or
No, no, sir, 98% we are requiring.
so therefore there is a little distance to travel on that? Okay,
Yes,
no
sir.
problem.
As our data set will increase, as we onboard more mentors and more hospitals, our AI model will be trained on more data and our accuracy will increase. Sir, we have reached from 57% to here, sir.
Fantastic. And what is the journey that you foresee as far as this is concerned in terms of timeline, etc.?
Sure, sir. Sir,
And
timeline, as any medical device, you have to take MD7 license, ISO 1380. I'm forgetting the ISO name. Sorry for that. Just a second, sir. ISO 13485 license, as well as Class C and D licenses for our medical products, because our medical products fall under moderately high risk medical device manufacturing, because it's involving someone's diagnosis. So, the process and the clinical trial would be a little bit lengthy. For example, MD7 license granting will take somewhere between 1 to 1.5 years, and rest all licenses will be on similar timeline. So, if everything goes right, we in 4 years we will be good to go to the market, to the end users, sir.
okay, and are you going to make this as a formal diagnostic device?
Sir, yes, sir. At home diagnostic kit.
Okay, because what we have seen is that most of such devices, they don't really consider themselves to be diagnostic devices. They are more as support devices for early detection, etc. Post which you are recommended to actually go into a formal medical setup to do the actual diagnosis. So that's the reason I asked. So you're essentially saying that this is going to be a diagnostic device.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be diagnostic device. That's why we are taking so long timeline, because we want to be, because human lives are involved with it, and diagnosis is involved in it. So we are taking every step of the process very carefully, because there are lots of legal compliances that we need to maintain to go ahead, and we do not certainly do not want to play with someone's life. So that's the thing, sir.
Okay.
Just one follow-up. So this accuracy percentage which you mentioned, 80%, this is on what database? What kind,
Sir,
what
this
number
is
are we talking about?
Sir, this is the database on 1,200 data collected that we have collected from Mission Hospital Durgapur of first degree top layer MRI topology. That's a Indian database, and our machine is also trained partly on Indian data and partly on European data. So what we do,
There
we
are two
take
parts. There are two parts to your product. First is the app and the software.
yes, sir,
Second is your hardware,
yes, sir.
right? When you say accuracy, are you talking about your software or your hardware? Which one are you
Sir,
talking
the
about?
software accuracy, but sir,
Okay, then you
hardware
have to be
just
specific about that.
sure, sir.
So what I, at least I was understanding is that you've already started testing of your hardware.
Sir, we have already started the testing of hardware. Hardware is 100% accurate, sir. Hardware just gives the abbreviation. The main interpretation is done with the AI
Hmm.
machine learning model.
Hmm. So hardware has been tested on how many patients till now?
Sir, 250 patients till now, sir.
250 patients. And
Yes, sir.
can you give me a breakup of what were the false positives?
Sir, the false positives were there were three, four category that we uh, got, sir. One category is the false positive, as you mentioned. There were 15 false positive cases, right, sir?
Out of
And
250, you're saying there were only 15 false positive
yes, yes,
cases.
false positive cases, sir. There were only 15 false positive cases, and another cases that our hardware was facing issues was the device was not used properly because of the the proper instruction was not given to how to use the
Hmm.
device. That also
Hmm.
created a false positive. That's around the number is 35, sir.
Hmm.
So if you combine that total out of 250, there are 50 around 50ish false positive total false positive cases, sir.
And of the remaining 200, what was there any true cases which were identified, which you
Yes,
can
sir.
claim that because of your device you were able to identify breast cancer, proactively?
Sir, yes, sir, but not as if that claim that because of our device gave the first hint that yes, this person could have a breast cancer. Then she was put through a mammogram and found out that yes, she had a breast cancer.
What is that number?
Sir, that is roughly, sir, 2 to 3 patients only, sir.
Sorry?
2 to 3 patients only, sir. Because
And how many cases were identified that, okay, these are the potential cases that can have a breast cancer? I'm trying to understand the breakup. You understand? No, I'm
yes,
trying
sir.
to
Yes, sir.
understand the waterfall.
Okay. Yes, sir. 2 to 3 cases were like that because we tested on patient who were potentially either going through a preliminary checkup whether they are having a breast cancer or
Hmm.
not, or
Hmm.
they are in the stage one of breast cancer because you need a
Hmm.
validation data, right? So
Correct.
validation data can be only done with the patients that were having breast cancers.
Okay. Okay.
So we test uh, in some cases it shows false positive, as I mentioned 50 oddish case it shows false positive, and rest on 2 or 3% it so happened that when we tested preliminary before she went to a mammogram, we tested our device and we gave a report that yes, this can be a breast cancer. And rather and when she really went from a mammogram, doctors detected a stage 1 lump of a benign breast tumor, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, man.
Might have been, might not have happened, but did you get any false negatives?
Uh, yes, sir. False negatives are rare, sir.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have 35 cases out of the 50, which was essentially due to incorrect application of the hardware, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any learnings from there in terms of, because see, the point is that when you're going into market and when you're sort of putting it into the retail market, etc., correct? The reality is that finally at the end of the day, your outcomes will then be dependent upon how the application is done, right? So any learnings from, these 35 cases?
Yes, sir. Firstly, we have to train the personals that are, because this is a prototype, not a full-fledged model. How to use how to handle the hardware and software properly. And the second thing is that the material that we're using currently, the PLA that we are using to 3D print it, is not up to the mark. We need a medical grade PLA that is available only. We have to source it through China. So we are currently doing that. And after that only, sir, these are the two essential learning: building a better prototype and building and giving proper instruction to the workers like the pharmacists and the nurses how to use this product correctly. And another important thing that we found out was, sir, the because of products like this, there is no in India there is very lacuna of awareness of breast cancer, sir. So awareness program is very much required. People do not know what breast cancer really is. They do not know there is a type of cancer and you need to go through such extensive processes to get. The third learning was this also, that people do not know much about the disease, sir.
Okay. Thanks. That's it for me. Sridharji, in case you have any
Yeah,
questions.
I have only two questions. One is that the mentors you mentioned right in the previous slide, so they were only assisting in the data, or they also validated all the processes and things you have done? And
Sir,
second
two
thing is
mentors.
that on the you are mentioning the product. I think for the Indian target audience, the instructions don't work. You have to make the product simple, right? So you have to focus on the design as well.
Yes. Sir, yes, sir. Two of our mentors are for data collection part, and one of the mentors, Dr. T.I. Tripathi, is oncologist at AIMS Rishikesh, is helping us to validate our product as well as improve our design. Sure, sir. We are in a learning phase right now. We are every day learning some new things and every day collaborating with new hospitals to make our hardware and software more foolproof. So yes, sir, we will definitely improve our design as if now. It's not perfect, but it is giving results, and sir, we are progressing slowly.
Thank you so much, Team Revengers. That was an extremely
Okay, thanks,
insightful and
Pam.
interesting presentation. I would now like to call Team C for their idea presentation. Can we have their pitch video, please?
Hi. There's a lot of discussion on how fossil fuels are the biggest reason behind the increase in global warming. But did you know, according to a study in the US, plastics are set to increase more greenhouse gases emissions than coal by 2030. The world generates approximately 400 million tons of plastic waste each year. Let's dive into the problem. The plastic crisis gets a lot of attention, but the headlines usually focus on the plastic that ends up in the environment. That's just part of the story. The truth is, plastic has a whole life cycle, one that harms people and the planet from start to finish. Globally, a whopping 32% of plastic packaging ends up in the environment. 40% goes to a landfill where plastic just piles up for the future generation to deal with. And around 14% is incinerated. Incineration is a nasty business, producing toxic smoke and fly ash. The current solution? It's recycling. Unfortunately, it's not the solution many people think it is. Just 14% of plastic packaging gets recycled, and only 2% is effectively recycled, meaning it becomes something as useful as before. The rest is downcycled into something worse, and most recycled plastic is only recycled once before ending up in landfills, incinerators, or the environment anyway. So it turns out that we can't burn, bury, or recycle our way out of this problem. What's the solution? What if I tell you that a cactus can be the game changer? Yes, I'm talking about the desert king. One single cactus plant can produce approximately 500 plastic plates over its lifetime. India is uniquely positioned to leverage this low maintenance, water efficient crop
with its existing 1.2 million hectare land available for cactus cultivation. But that's just the tip of the prickly pear. Even an area equivalent to a car parking space can produce over 25,000 biodegradable plastic plates. We at BioCacti have a sustainable, scalable, socially responsible solution to make this possible. We aim to produce biodegradable plastics used in packaging and waste utensils in the industry, which has a market value of $25 billion. Right now, cactus-based bioplastics industry is a huge white space, like an uncharted island waiting to be explored. We plan to expand the usage of cactus pulp by exploring its potential in medical technology and agriculture. So I leave you with this fact. One single unit of bioplastic emits 50 to 70% less greenhouse gas than normal plastic. So choose a future where cacti becomes the hero for cleaner, greener India. Thank you.
Hi, we are biocacti. So humans ingest and inhale up to 1.2 lakh microparticles a year. Higher levels of microplastics can cause respiratory and infertility problems, amongst others. Plastics were also found in a fetus, a pre-polluted baby. That sounds horrifying, right? But there's hope to protect our future, a sustainable alternative, which is bioplastics. As single-use plastic consumption skyrockets, particularly in the packaging industries, we are strategically positioned to target India's $430 million plastic packaging and utensil sector. The global bioplastics market is estimated to increase at a CAGR of 30% in the next 10 years. This is our business model canvas, and our vision is clear: creating a pioneering firm leading the charge in bioplastic adoption, forging a circular economy through tech innovation and unwavering sustainability. Existing bioplastic firms utilize materials like starch, banana fibers, and wheat bran, but face challenges with each one of them. But cactus, with its minimal water needs, pest resistance, and rapid growth, is tailor made for the Indian landscape, especially in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Moreover, it's a natural carbon sequester, absorbing approximately 57 grams of CO2 per plant per year. The impact of cactus-based bioplastics is astounding. 1 kg of this material can reduce around 2.5 kgs of CO2 emissions. Over to Pooja.
Yes, so coming to our financials, here is a roadmap which spans three pivotal phases and the detailed breakup of the same. Phase one, research to perfect our process and set up the basic infrastructure required for the transformation. Phase two, a pilot project involving 10,000 cactus plants to refine and enhance our model to establish scalability. Phase three, scaling up, diversifying products, and expanding our reach. For this transformative journey, we require an initial investment of approximately 147.5 lakhs for machinery and factory setup. Our business benefits from economies of scale. Thus, as the quantity of bioplastic goes up, our overall profitability increases. The potential profit in the mature business stands at a healthy 20 to 25%. Can we please play the production video? We choose Apuntia ficus indica for its fast growth, high pulp yield, and availability in India. We will partner with local farmers to source the cactus. Additionally, we will provide training to farmers using the vertical stepwise farming method to enhance the crop yield. After harvesting, the cactus fruit undergoes a cleaning process using sustainable methods. After that, we reduce the size of the pulp by using knife milling method. Ball milling further refines the pulp into fine and uniform powder. The powdered cactus is then fed into the electrospinning setup. Using high voltage electricity generated from solar panels, the powder is converted into a web of ultrafine nanofibers. We can use other additives to improve the process and enhance the quality of bioplastic. Then we come to thermoforming. This is the last stage where the bioplastic mats are turned into our end products like spoons, forks, straws, cutlery, etc. So yes, this is the summary of the whole production process where we aim to create a zero waste supply chain. This looks good in theory, but is this a reality? So we have Sandra Ortiz, a chemical engineering professor at the University of the Valley of Atamajac, Mexico, who has successfully created biodegradable plastic from cactus. The material breaks down after sitting in the soil for a month, and when it is left in water, it breaks down in a matter of days. Plus, it is non-toxic if you eat it. So here are also our knowledge partners who are guiding us in our plan currently. So bioplastic made out of cactus is a recent innovation and not scaled up yet industrially, but it has huge potential for countries situated near the equator. And we are embarking on the journey to realize this potential. So invest in this prickly pear of innovation by joining us in this part to make our planet a better place, one bioplastic at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Team C. We would now like to invite Team Revengers for the idea face-off round.
Very well presented pitch. Great effort, team. I want to. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, a very great presentation, nice pitch, team. That was a really innovative idea. I just want to know about the novelty about the idea, as you have already mentioned Sandra Ortiz, who has patented this process back in 2014. And this is not a very new concept. Since 2014, it has been a decade. This technology has been used, and yet it hasn't seen any large scale industrial adoption. So, how confident are you as a team that your idea would be any different and will see large scale industrial adoption? Adding to that, my second question is, uh, do you guys have any IP or patent that would you that of making pulp of making plastic from the pulp of cactus? If yes, I do not see that included in your financials, the R&D, and if not, where is the R&D cost you have mentioned in your financials?
Sure. I'll first take up your question. So, if you look at what Sandra has does, actually, she was an inspiration for us to start this particular process. She uses cactus leaves to produce bioplastics, and they're not yet able to scale it up because they're still working on that particular technology. What our idea is to go a step further and use the fruits of cactus. So that's the differentiating factor. uh, we are not, and coming to the second one, we are not aiming for a patent or anything in this phase, because if you look at the current bioplastic industry, so they used cornstarch or banana peels, etc. And we are aiming to use a similar process that the other companies are using to produce the bioplastics. The point we're trying to make with this particular venture is that there are alternatives out there, just like the EV sector, if you see, uh, which needs to be brought in. So the more the amount of companies that come and do this process, the better it is for the environment. Where we stand differentiated is that firstly we'll have the first movers advantage. Secondly, the process that we talked about, it's a mixture of multiple processes out there. So we're trying to optimize as much as possible, reduce our carbon footprint in every possible way. So that is our goal with this entire process. Thank you.
A quick add up. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
A quick add up. The process that Sandra patented was a utility patent. So if you guys are doing any similar process, that would be a uh, copyright, sorry, a patent infringement. So how you guys plan to incorporate multiple processes, because that would be multiple patent infringement? Thank you.
Sure. So the process that she's using, we're not using. We're actually not using the process that she's using at all. The process that we are going for is electrospinning, which is out there in the market. So it's not patented in that sense. The idea that it is possible is generated from her end. Like, she's the one who started it. So it was just fair to mention her in the PPT. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, teams. We'll now begin with the jury Q&A.
Hey, Team C, thank you for your presentation. Um,
Hi
just
guys.
one
Sorry, Tarun, carry on.
Please, okay. Guys, first of all, you yourself mentioned that this is a technology which is existing, right? And but the adoption is something which is a problem, correct? Now, in the presentation, I what I got is the literature behind the technology, right? More academic. Now, if your goal is to drive adoption and scale it, I would have wanted to see a go-to-market plan, which I couldn't get a fair sense of. So I would like to understand, while technology and all, it's an existing one, that's fine. You want to scale it, that's fine. Execution at times is a make or break. So what I understand is your business plan hinges on execution of the technology, but your presentation did not. So take some time and help me with the go-to-market execution plan.
Sure, I'll take that. Thank you for the question. So that's right. Our main, you could say the where we would be able to establish ourselves in the market would be the go-to-market strategy. So for us, what we are doing right now is there is a market that already exists for plastics. We are trying to bring in a new technology into the same market. So our first, you could say, point of contact is suppliers who are into selling single-use plastics. So we are looking at, say, an airline industry or a hotel or restaurant or catering
We are
services
getting to
will be
sales right away. I'm not interested in hearing about sales. Right? I'm more interested in hearing about how are you going to set up the supply. Sales comes after that. First, you need to
okay.
have the product, then only you can sell. No?
Right.
Yeah.
So for us, what we are planning to do is we have one. So when you go to the market for a bioplastic, it's usually a customized product you'll be giving to your particular supplier. So we'll try to say, for example, tie up with a hotel or a catering service, try to understand their product, and then in our process itself we'll be modeling into it. Then in the pilot project, what we are trying to do is understand how much we can scale it, right? So that is how it's going to go. So the customers we are going to have are going to be special, would have specialized requirements, and we're going to be producing it accordingly. So that is how we vision. That is how we see it growing. So we'll have like multiple, shapes and sizes of, say, cups, or maybe for sandwich wrapping, etc. So we'll be aiming to produce those kind of plastics for them.
Okay, let me rephrase my question, right? I'm looking at some micro specifics, okay? So I'm looking at an answer that, hey, Tarun, we plan to, take up 200 acres of land in so and so place and set up farming as a pilot project. We expect to generate this kind of raw material out of it. With this raw material, we'll be able to cater to so and so kind of thing. This is what our pilot is going to be. The reason why we are selecting so and so area is because of XYZ reason. Right, once we are able to get through that is where this is when we will scale to ABCD regions, where the cost of land is low, etc., etc. So I'm looking at micro specifics. Whatever you're saying is very, like, I wouldn't even say 30,000 feet. It's like 60,000 feet.
Okay, all right. So I can get into the unit economics that you're asking. So currently we are aiming for areas in Rajasthan and Gujarat who have more of a climate that is suitable to for cactus planting. We have recognized there were some parts in Rajasthan where they are currently cultivating cactus. We are trying to what we are trying to do is set up our factory near those cactus plants. In the beginning, we are not aiming to grow plants ourselves because a cactus will take around 5 years to mature, and we need those pulp or cactus fruit pulp to be at that stage wherein we can use it. So it will take at least 2 years to be at a stage where it will give us fruits that we can use in our process, and 5 years would be like the ideal stage from where we can use the pulp. So now coming to the economics that you were asking, for example, one cactus plant will can be harvested 4 to 5 times a year. So let's take a conservative figure of 4, and one cactus plant can give around 15 plants. So they can give around 5 to 30. So we've taken an average of around 15. So, multiplying that, we came up with an approximation of the number of kgs of plastics that we require. For example, for the 10,000 cactus plants, we can get around 1,500 kgs of plastic. And then, of course, we'll be using it to create the end material. So I hope it answers the question a little bit better.
I'm looking for micro specifics, so I think let the other juries ask their questions.
Okay, very quickly, you you mentioned about the researcher, right? I think Dr. Sandra, who had first done this, and you mentioned that she had done it using cactus leaves, and the difference that you are bringing to the process is by using cactus fruits. So, could you just throw some more light on that in terms of what is the difference, why fruit versus leaves, and how this would sort of make adoption of this technology and scalable, make this scalable, versus what these guys have been struggling with for the past, several years.
Sure. So if you use the cactus leaves, so basically they require almost 2 to 3 leaves to produce a very small amount of plastic. So what we tried to see is that this is a great solution actually, but if you want to actually scale it, you require a huge amount of cactus, and then it takes a lot of time to grow as well. So then we were looking at other options in bioplastics. So you had cornstarch, sugar cane, and banana peel. So the kind of processes they were using, we felt like it would be better, more energy efficient. So the electrospinning process can be, you can include, say, solar panels, etc., to make it more efficient. So for us, we thought that rather than using the leaves, the pulp, which has more sugar content, can be used. And in India, especially, we have the Optimus spica, the plant, which gives a lot of fruits. So it makes sense for us to kind of go for that. So these were like ideas that came to our mind, and then we were discussing it with the other people, our mentors, or our knowledge partners. They said it is doable in theory, as we've mentioned, and we are still trying to find a way to kind of get it in process as well, so that we can at least make a sample out of it.
And just to add on top of that, so the pulp has some advantages. So it has higher cellulose content as if compared to the leaves. So it actually results in a higher bioplastic yield. And the processing production, I mean, the whole production process for pulp is easier and it's difficult for the leaf. And then the waste or the byproducts which are produced from the cactus pulp, they are also less. So overall, these were the few points which helped us in deciding that pulp would be better in compared to the leaves.
So, see, the as a layperson, right? I mean, what I see is that there is references available in terms of using cactus to create plastic, and the only reference that I see at this point of time, at least at cursory inspection, is Dr. Sandra, right? And they have used it, as you said, using cactus leaves, and you are proposing to do cactus fruits, right? So how do you actually sort of convince anybody saying that this actually works, given the fact that over the past several years people have not been able to move beyond the what has been done in the lab, let me put it that way, right? That's number one. The second question that I had, because I don't think I saw that anywhere, is what is the implication as far as consumer pricing is concerned? So whoever you're wanting to sell this to, correct, vis-a-vis what they're currently using, correct, what is the implication in terms of the costs for them, so to speak, in adopting this particular technology?
Sure. So, coming to the first one, uh, we do see that there has not been, you could say, implementation of what Ms. Sandra has done. We also believe, because the kind of solution this is, it is more suitable for countries near the equator, or or where there are more cactus production, to actually scale it. And we think this is an idea that is implementable, and with a little bit, those 6 months that we spend on actually producing the product, we will see the results out of it. So it's an idea worth exploring, because if we are able to make bioplastics that are usable, at least for a single use plastic, we are solving a huge problem by not using other resources like cornstarch, etc., which take more things from the environment to be produced. So yeah, you could say that this has not been implemented, but it's again a complete white space that somebody needs to take the first step to try and scale it, and that is what we believe can be possible. And Mohit, you want to take the second question now?
Yeah, so the price point which you mentioned that was missing out in PPT, so we kind of included it in this phase two pilot program where the selling price per kg is around 250. So that is the selling price per unit, and then on the base of the number of sales which we'll have around 3.75 lakh as a total profit, a total revenue from it in the first 6 to 12 months.
And
Oh,
just to add on to that, so that the amount that we have kept right now, we are keeping it similar to the price points available for normal plastics right now. We think that it is possible to create the same amount with the technology that we are using. So that is how we have projected it.
so what you're saying is that your the biodegradable plastic that you will prepare or you will make essentially will not have any uh, at least any significant cost implications as far as the consumer is concerned.
Yes, mainly because we are targeting single-use plastics. So these are the ones where we can afford to have, say, a thinner plastic in those terms, because we'll be going for products that are disposable at once. So see a cup, etc. So yeah,
What
that's
is the current in a country like India? What is the current regulation around single-use plastics?
Uh, right now, as far as I know, that they have banned the use of single-use plastics in most of the states. So that also gives us an opportunity to kind of push this forward. But we still see that there is, we go to a market and we're still able to get a plastic bag from our vegetable vendor.
Right. And typically, large stores, etc., who have moved on from single-use plastics, right? Uh, because they are not operating in the so-called, if I may say so, unregulated market. What are they using, and how is this going to work in comparison to that?
Sure. So currently, if you see, they're using some sort of paper-based, cardboard-based bags for their purpose. But what we see, if you have to, say, take liquid transportation, or even in the sense something heavier, we find it to be a little inconvenient. So we do see people kind of going back to normal plastics. They have it in their house as well. So just to have a solution for it, because people want to use plastics, but it is harming the environment. So there needs to be something that replaces and has the same amount of tenacity or same quality that can take up its utility. So that is what we are aiming for.
Okay. Thanks. That's it for me.
Thank you, sir.
So one question is linked to what Tarun and Shantarun asked. Have you done any study why that previous the use by Sandro has not been accepted or adopted in so many years? That is the first question. Second is that whether it is scalable, because the cactus is not going to be unlimited, right? Wherever it is grown, it is going to be limited, right? And third thing is that you yourself mentioned you're not, it's all theoretical kind of a thing. What will the actual product be? We don't know, right? That's it.
So yes, sir, as you mentioned, the first the part of Sandra. So we see that they do see problems That actually, to be honest, they have not. We don't see anything online where they've actually tried to scale the product industrially. So, in terms of what is holding them back, to be honest, it's not there anywhere on the internet for that matter. What we think is the use of cactus as a product, just like sugarcane or cornstarch, uh, which is already proven to be scalable and usable, can be replicated, and we'll be able to save more resources of the environment while using cactus rather than other products. Coming to the second thing about scalability, so as you've mentioned, there are only limited amount of cactuses. So that's why we were trying to come up with innovative ways of growing a cactus in India, which would be something new because now we are creating a market for it using a different sort of step method and using mirrors, etc., which will increase its productivity and help it grow at a faster pace. When coming to its scalability, for us, we have machinery and which will kind of help us in cover the cost if we have more cactuses kind of coming in. So it helps us in both ways if we actually scale the product, because then it becomes more feasible for us. Uh, yes, yeah. If there's anything else from your end, we'll be happy to answer.
I think we're done. Thank you. Thanks a ton.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Team C, for an interesting idea presentation. Wow, what a semi finale this has turned out to be. The variety of innovative ideas showcased by each of the teams is truly remarkable. A big round of applause to all the participating teams of this round. As you know, the winners of today's regional semi finale will be stepping into the grand finale of TUP 9.0, where they get to meet the other regional semi finale winners from other parts of the country. They'll compete with each other, and the best among them shall emerge as the ultimate champion of this competition. Now, I'm sure you're eager to know the winner and runners up for this regional finale. Now, to quell the curiosity, the suspense will have to linger a little bit longer. The results of today's round will be declared on our social media handles shortly. So keep those social media notifications active. As we draw to a close, a big thank you to our jury for their critical evaluations, to the audience, which has been very enthusiastic and participative, and a big thank you to all the participating teams. Looking forward to seeing the winners of today's regional semi finale at Reliance Corporate Park, Navi Mumbai soon. With that, I'm Enal Singh Chandel, would be signing off for today. Keep following us on our social media handles and stay tuned for further updates. Thank you. Have a great day.